Then let us begin. Y'all are starting to redeem your inspiration to lock these in. We have a handy-dandy prepared blank character sheet ready to go. Did you all break your player's handbooks? Y'all knew this workshop was going to happen. Come on now. Did you come to class prepared? Well, Death Angel, I think that's better than, well, hopefully it's better than other things that the IRS can send. I'm always prepared, like a level 20 wizard. Alright, so first up, we have the character sex and a possibility for a multi-class, if the roll is high enough. Big man, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 into chat? For any of you that are new to this process, we're going to do a set of random rolls first. Big Man may not be here. Death Angel, will you give me a percentile roll in chat? We're going to... Oh, there we go. Big Man's got it. Stops on a 9. We have a female character. All right, thank you, Big Man. Sorry if I put you on the spot there. What am I doing now? I appreciate you helping us out here. Next up, we have a... the character race will be rolled by Bullet Club Puppet. Bullet Club, will you please roll a D10 in chat? Death Angel, we might need you for... Rolled a 9. We have another Tiefling. So we have a female Tiefling. And as we come down, we've made a Tiefling, a Halfling, and another Tiefling. We are full of flings. So Death Angel, tell you what, roll a D4 on a exclamation point 1D4. Oh, hey, it's no problem, Big Man. I put you on the spot. Stops on a 1. We are a standard, like an infernal Tiefling. Which, in the case of if it comes down to a decision regarding the personality or the appearance of the character, we are favoring our infernal side more than our more human side. And so that could come down to our looks, that could come down to our preferred language or culture or the things that we like that are art. It has no mechanical appearance or benefit nor detriment. This is simply, well, if we're not sure, we're considering a couple options. She is more infernal. What does that mean? So let's go for here instead of here. Alright, next up then is alignment. Dark Wolf, you say any roll. Dark Wolf, will you roll a D100 in chat and give us our alignment? What is MSI Tur Gaming? I don't know. I don't know what you mean, Death Angel. Stops on a 31. A 31, we have a chaotic good character. We are impulsive, and we tend to be more social. A little bit more selfless. Doesn't mean we don't have our own dreams, though we're more sociable. We are willing to, take other people's opinions and considerations into account more often than someone of a different alignment. So chaotic good. We are a medium-sized creature as a Tiefling. We are level 20, and we are making a Psionic Soul Sorcerer. And we already have this. Now let's determine if we're going to have an ability score improvement or a number of feats. And Celtic Lady, will you please type exclamation point 1D100 into chat? Dorkwolf is saying Kata Good is the best alignment. She is throwing down the gauntlet, everyone. Can you step up to Senpai and confirm or deny that? I registered my Mobo and I got an email for MSI Tur Gaming. I think it's a typo, but it's probably because MSI is a manufacturer. In fact, that's the motherboard that I'm hoping to get for the next generation's computer. So it is probably supposed to be True Gaming. MSI, I think, is a company located in Singapore or Taiwan. Off the top of my head, I could be mistaken, unless I'm thinking of a hard drive manufacturer. But it could just be a typo. Celtic stops on an 18. We're taking all ability score improvements. It's all us, all natural. Now we're on to the background, and Raz wanted to lock in the background. Raz, will you please roll a D20 in chat? It does not count as much Bullet Club Puppet. There are not necessarily any spells or the like that depend on alignment, at least not like there were in prior editions. It's kind of a vestigial thing. It is something that maybe if you want to homebrew something to interact with it, you can. But as we talk about in the workshop here, alignment is a manifestation of your personality. It's a methodology that you perform. It's what happens after your brain to mouth filter or your brain to hand filter. Your actions come across as overtly evil, as very beneficent, as selfish, as selfless, as impulsive, as methodical, as all other manner of interpretations. So there's no real alignment restriction or necessity for certain spells in the kind of the generic, the vanilla D&D, but it's something you can play around with if you really wanted to, in a homebrew setting. Well, I hope that's a good one. I trust you. It has built-in Wi-Fi, which is convenient, right? Using it for the Bluetooth. Oh yeah. It's not just Wi-Fi with the Bluetooth connectivity. So you can have a controller or other things, or if you like storing digital media. Like, I don't know, you go out and you take photos of nature or something, you can just kind of boop boop and put it on your computer. Right, how alignment works with deities and such when they're sort of the embodiments of that sort of thing, but us mortals are more nuanced than that. Yep, I got your Raz. Don't worry, I see it. It's right up there. Bluetooth earbuds, yep. Alright, so this is another Outlander that we have. So we have two Outlanders and I was about to say, it was in a Hermit. Well, we have Outlander already up. Alright, Rytel, can you do me a favor? I need to know which kind of an Outlander we are. Will you please roll a D10 in chat? Exclamation point 1D10 to let us know. See, Bullet Club, this is why we say it writes itself. We have 2 Outlanders and a Hermit, who also kind of lived out in the wild. And automatically, this is going to bring a story that these characters can go through in a particular direction. Stops on a 1. So we are Outlander number 1. That's right, Raz got it. It writes itself. IWI. All right, now we need some personality traits and an ideal, bond, and flaw. Is there someone here who hasn't rolled yet? Demon Quiller, are you still hanging out? Daly, are you hanging out? Would you like to get in on this? Dylan the Dude Man, are you here? Would you like to roll? Let's see. DMP, Dysphemist. J Todd is here. Alright, so I'll tell you what. It won't produce the roll of a 69. But if you want to roll a D8 in chat, Lord, you are welcome to do so. If you want to type exclamation point 1D8, then go ahead and give us a personality trait. And then, Jay, can you please type exclamation point 4D6? And we'll use the first 3 numbers of that for our ideal, bond, and flaw. Alright, and our first personality trait is a 2. Dark Wolf, go ahead and roll a D8 in chat. And you can give us our second personality trait. And Jay has given us the ideal of 2, bond 1, and flaw 1. And my goodness, Jay, if you were rolling for stats for a character, you rolled what we would call a roleplay opportunity. And Dark Wolf gives us personality trait number 6. Yeah, right? Right, Jay? Excellent. We already know we're a sorcerer. We already know our subclass is a psionic soul. There are no subclass features here for us. Now we are going to determine the age of our Tiefling sorcerer. They are great role-playing opportunities, absolutely. Bullet Club, go ahead and roll a percentile in stat. Your 8 Wiz and 9 Strength Artificer is already enough RP for me. Stops on a 20. We have a young adult Tiefling. A young adult Tiefling. And so that's 11 plus 1d6. We'll take that last 1 since we had an outstanding 1. So we have a young Tiefling here. And now we need a height and weight. So for, let's see, a D8 and a D4. So 69, go ahead and roll 1D8 in chat again. Raz, roll a D4. Yes, because Death, you play with experience points. Dylan, can you please roll 1d8 in chat? And Big Man, if you're still around, can I get a D4 roll from you, please? Stops on a 3. All right. Celtic Lady, can I get a D8 roll from you? Someone will produce a height modifier for us at some point in time. There we go. A 3, and then I'm going to need one more. Let's have... tell you what, Dark Wolf, why don't you bring us home? Dark Wolf, go ahead and roll a d8 and give us our other height modifier. There we go. All right, so this is a 6, this is a 5. So we're going to start at 4'9". We're going to add 6 inches to his height. So we are 4 feet 15 inches tall. We're going to take this 6 and multiply it by the weight modifier. So we're going to add 30 pounds to a base weight of 110. And so he is 140 pounds. 5'3", 140. Young adult at 12. Now, if you roll this low, maybe you don't want to use the full height and weight. You know, we could reduce this down a little bit if we wanted to. Something to consider if you do play a younger character. Or even an older, you know, depending if there's, you know, you kind of have some shrinkage at the end. He might be a little short to be a stormtrooper, Celtic Lady. Probably tall for a 12-year-old boy. Or we could even say he's 5'3", but like, you know, maybe he's just counting like the tips of his horns. So is that really his height? The shortness is all a part of the charisma. Yeah, and I do want to bring up too that, I mean, when you see stuff like this, yeah, he's actually 4'11" and still growing, but you know, he's counting his horns, or he's kind of being cheaty and he's putting his tail up. All right, cool. So we have our randomized portions of our character, and now it's time to understand what does it mean. Right now we have some numbers and we have some placeholders. This is going to help us to find our character so that we understand how he makes decisions. What kind of a life has he lived in his 12 short years? And this is where y'all got to open up your textbooks. Come on now. You knew this was going to happen. You should have come to class prepared. Chapter 4 has our backgrounds, and we're going to go to O for Outlander. Our skill proficiencies are athletics and survival. Athletics and survival. We're going to be proficient in some kind of a musical instrument. Death Angel, will you please roll a d10 in chat to let us know which kind of an instrument we're playing? Our languages are going to be Common, Infernal, and then we're going to get one other from being an Outlander. We are going to get a staff, a hunting trap, and a hunting trophy, and we're going to turn that into a trinket of some kind. Trinket number something. We are also going to get traveler's clothes and a belt pouch containing 10 gold. I mean, we're level 10, so Hop over to chapter 5, and what is instrument number 5? You know, a part of me says we rolled that for the last one. That'd be kind of interesting if that was the case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lute, yes. No, it was a lyre. The other, was it the other Tiefling played a lyre? This one plays the lute. But Eleanor played the lute as well, I think. No, Eleanor played the lyre. The old man... Oh, old man was the hermit. Okay, got it. Alright. So never mind, not a lute. Not a lute. Tools, lute. It's their death. I saw the 5. The halfling, yeah, the halfling did bullet. This tiefling plays the lute. Alright, Raz, will you please roll a percentile to give us what is the hunting trophy that we found in the wild? And we're gonna take a look at it here. 97. A tiny mechanical crab or spider that moves about when it's not being observed. A tiny mechanical crab or spider that moves about when it's not being observed. So this is something that she found on a hunt. Maybe it was, I don't know, she found it in the stomach of something. She found it while she was out foraging for berries. Maybe this is somehow tied to her psionics. It is some sort of a way to detect the manifestation of psionics. This is a trinket. It's a kind of a quasi-magical device that we can have a lot of fun with. Oh good, a weeping angel crab. Yeah, right. Yup. So we'll take this into consideration with her as who she is and what sort of adventure she's been on. We're going to go back to Outlander. Our feature is Wanderer. This allows us to support ourselves and others off of the land, helping to find water and game and all this. And there's nothing wrong if a party has 2 Outlanders. This is presumably going to be more assuredly you have food and resources, or you might be able to specialize in some other regard, or have the 2 have their wandering features play off of each other in a very cool way. Or you might almost compartmentalize it into, well, you're a wanderer here, this other person knows something else, or someone is more of an outdoorsy wanderer, and the other is, I can get by in the city. I know where to find, you know, the leftover food and things, you know, I know where I can get water in the city and all this. You can take this in a lot of ways. There's nothing wrong with having characters that have the same background in the party. Be creative with it. Find opportunity. D&D like this is an excellent exercise in finding opportunity in what's around you. It is practice for real life, where we should always be observant for opportunities. That we can better ourselves, we can enrich ourselves, we can help other people, we can enrich other people. We can, you know, we find opportunity everywhere. We must be receptive to it. We must search for it, because it does not always land in our laps. And so, yeah, presumably, Bullet Club, it might even mean that not only can we feed the party, but we'll always have trade goods. Imagine that, too. We'll have trade goods. We'll have pelts. We'll have berries and meats. We'll have a lot of this available. So perhaps not only are we never without food or water, but we're good with directions, and we'll always have trade goods that almost anyone can use. That's not bad. It might be a little slower up north than Death, unless for some reason you have filled up your recycle bin. That's right, Rytel. We're already having an all Psionics party. Why not have a party with all similar backgrounds? Because we'll certainly still find diversity in it. And in fact, our other Outlander here was a tribal nomad. This Outlander, number 1, is a forester. So someone who lives in and around the woods, someone who can care after trees, someone who knows the woodlands and the creatures who live there. And so instead of just being someone who can survive on the road or out in the open plains, as it might be implied from a from a nomad, here we have someone who more in particular can interact with forests and that particular biome. In fact, I think we... put on some ambiance here. Well, I know you're up south, but it's north from the prior location. Kind of funny we're talking about psionics. I just introduced them in my homebrew game as a mutation from an influx of Starspawn. Oh, yes. And hey, Bullet Club, this Sorcerer is a remake of the Aberrant Mind Sorcerer. So talking about things like Starspawns. That said, I like the Aberrant Mind. So I guess it'll be interesting to see what they're going to do to it, because I love the flavor and I liked what the Aberrant Mind did. And we'll see if it's going to be any different now that it's given a psionic touch in that regard, and not just because of a contact with an elder being. Now, what is her first personality trait? Number 2. I watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups. And number 6, I'm always picking things up, absently fiddling with them, and sometimes accidentally breaking them. So we seem to be lighthearted. We are social. We are, we're in a good mood. We might have these, if not matronly instincts, then maybe kind of like a big sister set of instincts. And maybe we're not wise to the ways of the world. We're curious. We pick things up. We're observant, right? We look at what's going on around us. We just might not be. We might just not be the. How does this work? Uh-oh. Party mom with ADHD and must touch stuff. She might be the party mom. Yeah. Let's find out. Let's see. Will it write itself? What is her ideal? Number 2. Greater good. It is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. She's encouraging. I have to do my part to make other people to help cheer everyone up. And so too, do I want people to tell me stories or to show me things that will bring me joy, because we're in this together to make each other happy. Maybe party babysitter, that could be. So she does seem quite jovial. What is her bond to the world? Number 1, my family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. There we go, yeah. The other members, Eleanor was 16, and the old man is 76, although kind of from what we were talking about, he's probably like 500 years old. He just looks like a 76-year-old tiefling because his body's slowed down due to his psionic metabolism and this relic he's been in contact with. So we have like this old wizened hermit, and then we have these 2 young outlanders. And her flaw is number 1. I am too enamored of ale, wine, and other intoxicants. Party mom, who's actually the youngster. Yes, yeah, so she's like, you shouldn't do that, or you should watch out. Now, so this is an interesting point. We have a younger character, and we encounter in something here where she is enamored of intoxicants, and so this is a point where you say, well, can I roll with this? Am I comfortable with this? Because maybe you're not. If you don't want to play a kid who drinks wine, I mean, depending on where you live in the world, drinking wine at 12, that's not unheard of. Either like by law or just by, in the family, we drink wine at dinner. And maybe you've been drinking wine since you were 10 or something. If you don't like this result, obviously you're not forced with it. I'm too enamored of ale, wine, and other intoxicants. This could end up being something else that you would find comfort in. Maybe she loves eating too much. And so here we have her, who's like, don't do this. But she always, well, I'm going to bed. Celtic, you can't just say that when we're on a topic like this. You're like, well, I'm out of here. I'm going to bed. No, have a good night. Thank you for hanging out with us, Celtic. And thank you also for the support to the channel that you gave earlier. I very much appreciate that. Yeah, she might want to chew licorice root. Daly's party overthinks the easy stuff. All right, Daly, what is the tale from the tabletop here? Because you can't just say that without expanding more on it. No, I know, Celtic. I'd say I'm razzing you, but we have a Raz in chat, and I don't want there to be any confusion here. No, it's fine, Celtic. You're good. Ooh, pardon. So in this case, if she likes candy, she likes chewing licorice root, I don't know, make something up. Maybe she just overeats and she's got a tum on her, She goes around the forest, she's always eating berries. Maybe it's always like she just has like almost like a permanent blueberry stain or something. And she's just, she is a big girl, right? As we rolled her. So maybe she's got she's got a little bit of extra bit to her, it goes right to her tail. However you'd like to do it, this is indicative of an overindulgence of some kind. And what is that? And if we do want to say it could be sugar, or it could be licorice root or something, then that could very well be the case where, she just can't. She's always picking berries. She's always eating. So maybe she's just, walks by, is just always picking up. Oh, there's a caterpillar, eats it. Oh yeah, there's an acorn, eats it. Oh, there's some berries. Oh, there's a mouse. Whatever. She's a forester. She can eat it. It's not hurting her. So maybe she's just eating stuff everywhere. I don't know. It's either that or maybe you want her to pick her nose. I don't know. Have fun with it. Take the prompt and challenge yourself to think on it, given the context of what we're working with. Yeah, that stuff will stunt your growth. Shut up, I'm 5'3" and growing. Fried mouse on a stick, please. And so it's, it's a this brings up an anecdote. I think one of the most powerful characters that we built on, at least to me, and I think this was a question that was asked the other night, and I don't know if I got to it or not. One of the most moving characters that we made, we actually rolled. I think she might have been 14 or so, and we rolled her into a charlatan background. And in the charlatan background, one of your bonds is that you have a kid. And what this brought up then was we have a character that is, for some people, talking about teen pregnancy it could be a hot button issue, or it could be a sensitive issue. Different people are, they have different tolerances to something like that. And that was an awesome opportunity for us to, let's lean into the character. Okay, so she grew up as, I think she was a charlatan, and her heist, her favorite heist was she worked sidewalks for she stole, she was pawning and stealing objects of high value, like scales and stuff like that. And what we ended up coming up with for her was that she broke into a wizard's workshop to steal some components, because at the time she was pregnant, and so that's the only life that she knew how to live, was to hustle on the street, because whatever happened else in life, that maybe she was homeless, or not growing up in the best circumstances. So now growing up in that environment, by whatever by the circumstances, here she was about ready to have a kid. She decided to take a big chance, break into this place that had a high value but was rumored to be run by a wizard. Wizard caught her. He's an abjuration wizard, by the way, as he turned out being. And he said, you are going to get an education, and you're going to make something of yourself, because this is not a way to live for yourself or for that kid. And so the wizard ended up taking her in. When she had the kid was set up with foster parents, and she was taken under the wing of this wizard and taught how to be a wizard as an apprentice. She was given an education. Her child was being taken care of, and she would sort of be reintroduced with the child's life after she had earned an education and an income from working for this wizard, from stealing with him, from trying to steal from him. And so that was a huge motivation for that character. And it still humanized her. It still was relevant. We took something that could have made us go, maybe we don't want an alcoholic 12-year-old here. Maybe you do. Maybe you want to confront it as an issue, if it's right for you or the group you play with. Challenge that notion. Maybe that becomes the big redemption, or something. Something's going on. But in this other character's case, this was a super compelling person, and she had this whole development and was a better person for it all. It was amazing, and she's very vibrant in my mind, because we confronted this circumstance as it came up. We weren't afraid of it. We challenged ourselves to think about, all right, so given the circumstances, how would this work without really having to reach too far? And it did. And she's an amazing character. They spent the first 40 minutes making a plan how to walk down to a public street, and then rushed headfirst into a temple of Tharizdun with no thought or plan of what they were walking into. Well, if it's a temple to Tharizdun, I don't think a plan would work anyway. Besides, a plan's a list of things that go wrong. Yeah, Darkwolf remembers the character. Daly says, where they then fought 4 scum in the first area, 4 chulls. in the second area with one player who plays a wizard as a frontline fighter going to death saving throws, and as we ended, jumped into the third area where a giant shark just began swimming at them. Daily, what was happening? Was Tharizdun actually taking over your players? Was this like a bleed out from the fantasy world into real life? What is it if the meta is outside going in? What would the opposite of that be, where the inside is, is coming out? Jumanji? I don't know what we would call this, Daily. Hi, Phoenixina. Good morning. Well, I guess it would be, good afternoon, or almost good evening to you. Yeah, that's a flaw. Oh, good. Leaning into it. Yeah, almost 5 p.m. for you. Yep. Oh, jeez, what a grinder. Daily's grinder. So here in this case, I eat too much. So maybe she can be a little slothful, or maybe she's just, she's got a pot belly going or something. She's like a little kid. She's kind of like, I don't know. She's just big and happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But her flaw, especially if she's always picking things up. What if that like goes into the flaw that she's just always snacking? So she's a big girl. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Death Angel was saying that doesn't make her any less pretty. Short and stout. There we go. Dark Wolf. There we go. I'm too enamored of snacks. Very. Oh, yeah. Dark Wolf, very pinchable. Her nerves get the best of her, and yeah, so maybe it turns into comfort snacking. And you know what? She'll eat whatever's around. Dark Wolf, are you going to sketch this character? You don't have to. I'm not going to put you in the hot seat for it, but I'm too enamored of snacks and find myself absent-mindedly stress eating just about anything edible around me. Berries. Mushrooms. Lizards. Etc. That's right. No promises. No promises. So yeah, can you just imagine this? If you're talking to this character, this is why I love this part of character creation. We're making a character. Can you imagine if we're walking out in the woods, or you're talking to her, and whatever we end up naming her, you address her, and you want to bring up something, and she's listening to you, and as she does, her eyes. I mean, if you can track it as a tiefling, she may not have pupils. Her eyes kind of like dart off to the side, and as she's like paying attention to you, her tail kind of like curls over and grabs like a beetle off the side of a tree, and I said, "Yeah, I'm listening." Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, there's maybe like 3 more miles of woods left. A little beetle like thing out here. I think we only have about 3 more miles to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not that far. I was listening, I promise. Yeah, 3 miles. Let's go. And everyone starts marching, and she kind of like looks back, and she just sort of like, maybe she uses her tail a lot for this as well. She just sort of like curls her tail around a mushroom and kind of like plucks it up and like puts it into her belt pouch while they're walking. Right? If she's absent-mindedly doing it, or she's always picking things up, why not to some lesser degree? Maybe we say her tail is doing this. This is why the party needs 2 Outlanders. All the rations get munched. Oh, I love it. What a wonderful character here. And you know what? We have a character. We may not have ability scores up here, and that's fine. We don't need ability scores yet. That's one of the last things we're going to worry about. We have a character. We understand how she thinks. We understand, you know, so she's lived out in the woods, and, you know, her family's important. Maybe she's a country girl. You know, she's a forester. She's grown up in the countryside. She's climbed plenty of trees. She's fine eating beetles because she has. You know, she'll dig up a worm and she'll have a worm for her, put one on a hook, catch a fish, and cook up the fish. You know, I think she'd be absolutely comfortable, you know, making, you know, cutting up fish and descaling them and also making bait. You know, getting her hands dirty. Stomping around in the mud. I think we have an awesome little like country girl tiefling. All this talk of food reminds me of my human blood hunter who had an obsession with apples, which caused the group to fantastically fail, sneaking into a corrupt noble's house. Is that because you were like taking out loud crunches as you're trying to sneak? Needs cooks utensils proficiency. Well, in this case, I don't know. I mean, maybe she wants to cook stuff, but she might just be the type that would like shove a stick through a fish and put it over a fire. Do you think she does a lot of proper cooking? I think she does survival cooking. But, you know what? Dark Wolf brings up an interesting point. The background gives you a musical instrument proficiency. If you asked your DM, pretty please, and bat your eyelashes, is it going to break your game as a DM if your player wanted to make a thematic character and replaced a musical instrument with cooking utensils? Probably not. Why not allow it? Still, it doesn't hurt to ask, and as a player, your DM may say, nope, it's a musical instrument. Okay, we'll roll with it. You know, the fact that she plays the lute, maybe as she merrily goes through the woods and sings a beautiful song. You know, there may be more of her to love, but she might have a really pretty voice. Not that the two are somehow mutually exclusive. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But maybe that makes her more endearing, that she just goes around and she strums. As a snacker, I like making nom-noms, because then you can snack on even more things. Well, I'll tell you, you know, Dark Wolf, as someone who has a big old bowl of summer salad in the fridge, that was made from a bunch of cucumbers and Roma tomatoes and balsamic vinegar and feta cheese, and it's just sitting there, waiting at any point in time for me to get hungry and have a healthy snack. I can identify. I certainly... Look, I ain't going to blow away in the wind anytime soon. So, maybe this character... Maybe I'm biased because I am nearer and dearer to a character like this. Oh, goodness. Alright, now let's find out... You know, we know who she is, and this has plenty for us to think about. You know, for her family, for the region in which she's adventuring. And you know what? We might even be able to take these characters and help us make a setting for them in our workshops this coming week. So, as a tiefling, what do we get? We get 60 feet of dark vision. Now, you see why I don't start here? Because, like, 60 feet of dark vision, what does that tell us about the character? Alright, so she can see in the dark. Does that necessarily define her or set her apart from other tieflings? How does that help her be an individual? Not necessarily. Our intelligence score increases by 1 and our charisma by 2. Our speed is 30 feet, 15 climb, 15 swim, 0 fly. We do have hellish resistance, so we are resistant to fire damage. And our infernal legacy grants us the cantrip of thaumaturgy. And if we come down here, infernal legacy, thaumaturgy, and infernal legacy is going to give us 2 spells here in the second slot. We are going to get hellish rebuke once per long rest based off of charisma, and darkness once per long rest based off of charisma. Ta-da! We're a tiefling. Some of this stuff, you know, it might help you develop who tieflings are in your setting. It's not that it's not relevant, but if we're looking for this stuff itself may not be as character defining as you're going to find with her personality, ideal, bond, and flaw, or some other circumstances that is around her background. So don't just use a background as a way to get a couple skills or a little bit of extra money or something. You can. It's your game, your character. I would encourage you not to. How about that? Now, let's make a 20th level sorcerer. Just a sorcerer, no subclass. This is pure 20 levels of Sorc. We come up here, our proficiency bonus is 6. We are going to have 20 sorcery points. Uh-oh. Spreadsheet? Okay, there we go. We are going to know 6 cantrips. So we have this, and I'm simply going to put 6 cantrips because I don't have enough space on the front page. But I generally like this as a setup because you can put your, you know, maybe you want to put your damaging cantrips on the front page, but on the back here there's plenty more space. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And our spell slots are 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. Sir, don't play around down there. Come on. Out of there. Thank you. I got a cat circling my feet here like a shark around a boat or something. And let's put our spell slots here. 4, 3, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. There we go. Alright, as a sorcerer, we are a D6 hit die class, and as a level 20 sorcerer, we get 20 of them. And that is our natural ability to heal our hit points on rests, without needing to use magic or potions. We get no armor proficiencies, and weapons, I'm simply going to put sorcerer weapons, because it's its own custom blend, and I don't want to type them all out. You can reference the player's handbook yourself for that. No tool proficiencies. Our saving throws are going to be Charisma and Constitution. We should probably give her a big Constitution because she's a healthy girl. And skills. Choose 2 from Arcana, Deception, Insight, Intimidation, Persuasion, and Religion. Let's see. I watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups. I'm always picking things up, absently fiddling with them, and sometimes accidentally breaking them. Greater good. It is each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. And I am too enamored of snacks and find myself absent-mindedly stress-eating just about anything edible around me. Berries, mushrooms, lizards, etc. If we are conscientious of other people, friends, and family, a part of me wants to give that to insight. right? Insight is a kind of empathy. Joseph Fjord, hello and welcome to you. That's right, you need a high con save to eat beetles. No big deal. Welcome, Joseph. Thank you for joining our workshop. Bullet Club C, as a DM, if a player wants to swap out a proficiency, I'm all for it within reason. Mainly the instances when proficiencies double up, and Maddie found his next character, everyone. Actually, I will be playing a character tomorrow, but I don't think this would be a legal build for it. So it will be a different character, but I like the concept. Beetle, yeah, very remember, mouthfeel is the word. Mouthfeel. So let's see, if we go insight, I don't think she's the type to really deceive. Persuasion or intimidation. I think she's a very charismatic character. I think persuasion is going to work. Now, if you want to give her something different, hi Shade Mage, welcome. Good to see you again. I hope you've been well. Has everything kind of settled down for you after your move and whatnot? It's been a little bit, I know, but hopefully, like, everything is finally in place. She might be standing on her tiptoes and counting the tips of her horns, or she might be, like, trying to curl her tail a little bit on top to, you know. Oh, she might be deceiving us? You think she's a little, she's kind of cheeky, a little deceptive? Oh, you know what? What if she's deceived? Because, how about this? How about this? If we give her deception, it's because she'll eat a beetle, and despite it having a twitching leg out the mouth, someone will say, did you just eat a beetle? No. Did you just eat a beetle? No, get out of there. Get out. Stop wanting to crawl in the electronics. My goodness. I have APCs down here, and he's like, I don't want to get on top of those. You are a beautiful derp. I love you, but goodness. So yeah, you know what? I think Darkwolf, I think deception would work, because she maybe lies about her height. And of course, anytime, you know, oh, and people are like, did you just break that? You know, because she's absentmindedly picking stuff up. No. It's totally fine. You saw nothing. Deception, I think, works wonderfully for this character. It's been a journey. You're all settled, but you've been super busy. Shade, hey, if you've been busy, I hope it's been in good ways. You've been productive, like personally, professionally. You know, I know you're a business person as well. I hope, Shade, that you have been doing well in these weird times. We were actually having business talk earlier before the workshop. But thank you for stopping by, especially if you have been quite busy. All right, equipment. Not going to worry about the equipment here, because honestly, any weapon attacks, this is simply going to be, for purposes of what we're doing, is she attacking with strength or dex? And there we go. Because, I don't know, she's level 20. She could have a common dagger, or she could have a plus 11 billion dagger. I don't know. What would you want to give her for a dagger or a quarterstaff? I mean, she's probably walking around with a staff. I could totally see her, you know, she has the staff and the hunting trap and all that. I bet she does have a quarterstaff, and she uses that in melee. She might even want to cast with that staff, too. It's a good bonking stick. Also, you can knock down apples from trees. And, yeah, she's not heavy. It's my tail weight. It's my tail weight. So, all you know how people are like, it goes to my hips, it goes to my butt. It goes to my tail. or the horns. I don't. Maybe she has big horns. She's like, I'm not heavy. It's my horns. They're actually really big and heavy. Maybe she does have, like, I don't know, really thick horns. I mean, some tieflings might just develop horns at an earlier age. I mean, if we could make all sorts of, like, puberty parallels here, and we can have fun with it, right? Build the culture. Do horns manifest at puberty? Is she, she's a young adult. Maybe she blossomed very quickly and she has a beautiful set of horns and they've actually added a lot of weight to her, or her tail has grown tremendously. What are tieflings like in your world? Big man, have a great night. I'm glad you love the character. And you'll be able to download her when we finish, once everything goes up on our Discord after the week wraps up. I'm glad that you're enjoying the character we're making, and thank you, Big Man, for helping us make her. Okay, we have as a class, we have Font of Magic, and of course we have Meta Magic. And we get 4 Meta Magics by level 20. I mean, by 17th level, but... And we'll check out her Meta Magic in just a bit here. We are then going to get Sorceress Restoration. At 20th level, you regain 4 expended sorcery points whenever you finish a short rest. Alright. Now it's time to ask ourselves, given her personality, given her manifestation... hi again, Wolfblade. I don't know if we have any random rolls left for this character. We can find out. Given who she is, her personality, what kind of meta magic, how would that manifest, right? Especially as a sorcerer, or sorceress if you prefer. How would these innate abilities manifest? She does care about people, so what about Careful Spell? Right? If we're saying that she's kind of like the dead mom, even though she's younger, she tries to act older, she tries to act, very grown up. She is a cautious person, a very friendly person. I think Careful Spell would be a good one for her. When you cast a spell that forces other creatures to make a saving throw, you can protect some of those creatures from the spell's full force. To do so, you spend 1 sorcery point and choose a number of those creatures up to your charisma modifier. A chosen creature automatically succeeds on its saving throw against the spell. Subtle Spell so she can cast while eating. Oh my goodness. So we're going to give her Careful Spell and Subtle Spell. Yeah, so she can cast with her mouth full and everything. Oh, are you going to go for a walk, Wolfblade? I love it. Subtle Spell absolutely works. Now, what else? Let's see. Watch over my friends. I'm picking things up and fiddling with them. It's each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the whole tribe. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life, even when they are far from me. I am too enamored of snacks and find myself absent-mindedly stress-eating just about anything edible around me. So what about... she's a forester, right? She is an Outlander, a forester. Someone who lives in the woods. You might need extended spell if you're spending a lot of time out. Maybe she has particular buffs that she puts on herself, and she wants those to last. I don't feel like getting stopped. As much as I respect the police, the county I'm in, the police, that's the oh, gotcha. All right, well, yeah, don't endanger yourself then, Wolfblade. if she likes other people as well, what about Twin Spell? She, so there's her as the caster. She likes doing things for people. It could end up being, I'm sharing. I want more people involved in my magic. So I think Twin Spell and well, I guess that would be a proactive kind of protection, because Empowered Spell is just for damage rolls. What you may want then, Jay, might be Heightened Spell, which is forcing a disadvantage on a saving throw. So instead of nuking people with fireballs to the maximum extent, instead, she might say, go away. And she's going to make people go away without needing to murder them. Because I'm sure she has damaging spells. I don't know if she's the type to like be a super damaging sorcerer. But Heightened Spell may, Extended or Heightened Spell may very well end up being a way to help other people, or at least not have to bring things to a lethal end. We could possibly make the argument also for Quickened Spell, because if she's always picking stuff up, she's always looking around, she is impulsive per her a portion of her chaotic alignment, her chaotic good alignment. She may be more impulsive. That's also backed up by the always picking things up, and so maybe if that's the case, maybe she can also cast spells quickly. So maybe in this case, I mean, it would be kind of flopped around, but still, maybe Quicken Spell is actually the best for her. All the food spells. Hey, my goodness! T2KB! Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Poison Ivy Pika leading the cheer. Hello, VTAC. Shout out, T.
Many fall in the face of chaos, but not this one. Not today.
Equiriel Blue, hello. Shout out to TT2KB. I hope y'all were having fun with your dungeons and or your dragons. Gladius Rex Maximus in with the raid. Air Laser, you voice along with your clips too. Malice of Plague, good to see you again. Hello, everyone. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm just good typing whatever in. There's some Maddie spam. That didn't end up being a lot. So yes, hello. I hope you all had a ton of fun. Thank you for joining us in our workshop. Y'all, we have, through our random character generator process, have an absolute cinnamon bun of a tiefling. My goodness. And y'all came just in time, because as she is a level 20 sorcerer, that is nice and all, but we got to give her subclass. Oh, VTAC, thank you. Thank you very much. VTAC, where would you like that to go? Do you want to put that into the PC upgrade parts, or do you want to throw that into the community pool? Also, Poison Ivy, I put your bits into the community pool. Into the community pool? All right. All right. One day, a light blazed forth within you, the illumination of psionic power. Your mind now simmers with this power, the full extent of which you won't fully grasp for years to come. You can touch other minds with it and alter the world around you by using it to control the magical energy of the multiverse. Will this power shine from you as a hopeful beacon to others? Or will you be a source of terror to those who feel the stab of your mind and witness the strange manifestations
for a great channel there, Matty.
of your might? Malice of Plague? Malice, hey, I'm happy to host it, but honestly, y'all are the ones that make it an awesome channel. Thank you very much for that. And Malice, do you want to put that in towards the community pool for minis or towards a computer part upgrade? Please let me know. Among Gith Yankee and Gith Zerai, the powers of Psionic Soul Sorcerers are revered and marshaled on both sides of the Gith War. In Eberron, many Kalishtar dream of discovering this origin's abilities within themselves. Interesting choice of words, because Kalishtar don't really dream. Anyway. And in Athos, more sorcerers are born with a psionic soul than with any other source of power. In the glades of primeval woods touched by the Feywild, children sometimes awaken to the wonders of psionic power. And in communities that survive far realm incursions, some folk are mutated into horrific aberrations. Remember, this is a take on the Aberrant Mind sorcerer that was also an Unearthed Arcana. While a lucky few not only remain themselves, but also discover that psionic energy now suffuses their minds. As a psionic soul sorcerer, you decide how you acquired your powers. Were you born with them? And did they manifest throughout your childhood? Or did an extraordinary event later in life leave you shining with psionic awareness? Consult the Psionic Origins table for a possible origin of your power. Mew Mew V, hello! Computer upgrade? Very well, and thank you very much. Poison Ivy, then here, if you gotta have your spirits lifted, I want you to put a thumbprint on our character here, on our beautiful little cinnamon bun of a tiefling. Can you please type !1d10 to help us know a little bit more about our character, and how did she come into her psionic powers? Uh, 1d10. Are you just going to tag me, or are you going to jump up here and show everyone? Come on. Come on up, bud. And now, cat butt. Mew Mew V says, I recently had a good dream that gave me the seeds for a campaign. I managed to find a setting that works for the campaign I'm trying to do, Ravnica. Ooh, yeah. Ravnica is a fun place. And I hope you were able to make notes of your dreams, Mew Mew V, and that you are going to have an awesome campaign that will leave you and your players with memories for years to come. All right, so Poison Ivy rolled a 9. Well, Mew Mew V, you can replace any pantheon you want with whatever else you'd like. You don't really have to worry too much about that. All right, number 9. Your nightmares whisper the truth to you. Your psionic powers are not your own. You draw them from your vestigial twin. Oh. So, we actually have... Interesting. We have a self inside us. Or maybe that's how our tail, our tail was a twin, but the twin kind of got absorbed by us. Maybe that's why we have such a big tail. And the tail is the thing that is empowering us, is giving us these, these dreams, these psionic powers. Ooh. Fun. By the way, she's still an absolute cinnamon roll. So we have a... What is this called here? Psionic Origins. Origins number 9. Your nightmares whisper the truth to you. Your psionic powers are not your own. You draw them, and by the way, this could be completely made up, and it's just something that we... That's the reason why I'm so big. You draw them from your vestigial twin! Exclamation point. I'm setting more of a grimmer tone to my story with the world of Ravnica devoid of love, which has to be restored. Hey, you know what? You can run, like, with as big and metropolitan as Ravnica is, you can run that as more of a noir setting, where everyone in this ceaseless city is just ground down, stress is high. You know, with... Even if you try and go and find spiritual relief, the church is trying to shake you down, the Orzhovs, if you're going to keep that. You know, and so there's just such, there's despair. Everyone's working, but for what? What's the next movement? Maybe we made our guilds because we were tired of people abusing us, but now the very guilds or unions that we made are the ones that are abusing us. And how do we break from that? When the city is built upon that? How do we escape the thing that we thought would give us relief? How do we reinvigorate faith to bring us happiness and comfort? How do we find love in a city where you just chase after the gold piece to try and live another day? Sir, don't knock those down. Hey, no, stop. You're being a rascal. I love you dearly. I'm going to touch your forehead. Thank you. Hey, let me see. All right. Yeah, those weird food dreams. So she's stressing. She's like, the only reason I'm big, that's the only reason. It's not because I eat beetles and lizards and mushrooms and berries and everything. It's because, this is the only explanation. They have to go to various perils of the world in Ravnica to gather the pieces to a sword that can shatter it. Hey, playing a little baseball with a relic that is depriving the world of love would be a very satisfying ending, Mew Mew V. Hey, Rain survives. I'm sorry, Rain survives. I missed your initial comment there. Still an after game chat, but wanted to make sure I said hi. I hope our fans and the new raid fans we met just before leaving are getting a chance to know you. Have a great night. Thank you, Rain, and all the crew from TT2KB for your raids. Hopefully, I'll be able to raid you all sometime. But I appreciate the incoming raids that you all have coming in this direction. I love cross-moginating with y'all. Sir, don't be ornery, please. Hi. Cat stuff. Alright, we have Psionic Talent. Hopefully as a Psionic class. Psionic Discovery. Sir, please. Psychic Sorcery. Telepathic Speech. Now, this is the mechanic that is strung through all three of these subclasses, is this Psionic Talent. This die that does different effects and can become more powerful, less powerful, or go away depending on the results. It's kind of like a... I don't want to say it's kind of like wild magic. It really is its own thing. The mechanic itself makes sense if you are playing with it And I don't think it's necessarily unplayable. Just realize that keeping track of this die is one more thing to keep track of. It could offer a complication for you as the player or the DM to make sure that you're tracking the size of it or the uses that you can put it towards, because it is a fuel source for your psionic abilities as well. And obviously saying something, no, we can't have this because this could allow someone to cheat. I mean, yes, you might forget to reduce the size of your die after getting a particular result. Or you might forget that you could have used your die in some other place. So too do we have sorcery points, and wizards have 11 billion spells in their books. You know, it happens. That is the yellow flag. It's not really a red flag for the ability, but that's a yellow flag that I've been throwing out. Is this is a complication. I don't think it's extremely onerous, but it is one more thing to keep track of. So make sure that if you want to play this in playtest, let alone if this is how it gets printed later on officially, you have the responsibility of tracking the die and making sure that you're using it in some manner that would be appropriate for the character. That is your responsibility to do, and not to hold up the table. Now, a sorcerer with psionic talent in this case has psionic discovery. You can unlock the ability to cast a mind-oriented sorcerer spell you don't already know. After meditating for 10 minutes, which can be done during a rest, roll your psionic talent die and choose a sorcerer spell of a level for which you have spell slots, and that is in the School of Divination or Enchantment. You know the chosen spell for a number of hours equal to the number you rolled. Pretty interesting. Our mind is drifting, and we can interact with others in these interesting new ways. Psychic sorcery. When you cast a spell, you can use your mind to form it rather than relying on words, gestures, and materials. To do so, roll your psionic talent die. The spell then requires no verbal component, and if you rolled the level of the spell or higher, the spell doesn't require somatic or material components either. Now, we have a metamagic. This can compete with a metamagic. In fact, one that we took of Subtle Spell. However, this isn't as guaranteed as spending a sorcery point. Still, we might be able to get some bonuses, or we can save our sorcery points to put towards something else, depending if we need that guaranteed result, or if we can risk it for the biscuit. Telepathic speech. You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another. As a bonus action, choose one creature you can see and roll your psionic talent die. For a number of hours equal to the number you rolled, you and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other, while the two of you are within a number of miles of each other equal to the number you rolled. To understand each other, you must speak mentally in a language the other knows. The telepathic connection ends early if you use this ability to form a connection with a different creature. Raichi is a sir, Nisa is a ma'am, Death Angel. DM notes are funding the type. Well, they help you flesh out your world. They help you keep things going, to build an economy, to build your setting, to build a society and religious interaction and societal norms and law systems. Absolutely, Mew V. Rytel says players could not reduce the die, just like they can not mark off a spell slot. No, you're correct. Yeah, and that was my point. You can still forget to do things with this. I just want to bring it up that it is something to track. It is a resource that grows and diminishes and fuels other things. So, and that you shouldn't write off an ability because you think it gives someone else an opportunity to purposely or accidentally not play efficiently, to put it tactfully. UV, mind if I can type a chat of a prophecy I wrote? Yeah, that's fine, UV. Just be careful because there are character limits for what can be posted in the chat box. Now, the die size changes depending on if you roll minimum or maximum on that current die. And for our Psionic talent, our Psionic talent is a D12. So it'll shrink down to a 10, 8, 6, 4, nothing if we consistently max out our rolls. Or if we go down, it can go back up if we min out. And as a bonus action, you can calm your mind for a moment and restore your Psionic talent die to its starting size. You then can't use Psi replenishment again until you finish a long rest. Now, this is a little bit more stuff, the distance and all this. These are more little ancillary things to possibly keep track of because they do last a number of people or a number of miles or a number of hours. If you play this, just be prepared to play it. Have fun with it, and do your part to track your effects. Now we get Psychic Strike. You have learned to channel additional psychic energy into your spells. Immediately after you deal damage to a creature with a Sorcerer spell for which you expend a spell slot, you can roll your Psionic talent die and also deal psychic damage to that creature equal to the number rolled. You can deal this extra damage only once per turn. So here, kind of imitating a meta magic, this is allowing us to stack on every time a little bit of extra psychic damage for the possible chance of reducing our die size, which isn't. I mean, on average 6.5, so we could say 6 or 7 every turn on a spell with our D12 isn't too terrible. Then we get Mind over Body. You can now use the psi that flows through you to give your body extraordinary abilities. As a bonus action, you can roll your Psionic talent die and spend 1 or more sorcery points to magically transform yourself for a number of hours equal to the number rolled. Until the transformation ends, you gain one of the following benefits of your choice for each sorcery point you spent, choosing a different benefit for each point. You can see any invisible creature within 60 feet of you, provided it isn't behind total cover. You gain a flying speed equal to your walking speed, and you can hover. You gain a swimming speed equal to twice your walking speed, and you can breathe underwater. Your body, along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying, becomes pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch without squeezing, and you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from non-magical restraints or being grappled. So really, this is at a small risk of the Psionic talent die possibly reducing, but we spend 1 or more sorcery points. I mean, the number rolled, it could be up to 12 hours, could be a minimum of 1. These are really good to invoke for any of the time. In this case, it would be an average of 6, and so you can spend 4 points. In fact, you know what? With Mind over Body, and with us, now this is us being level 20, right? We've made a level 20 character. At level 20, you get 4 sorcery points back on a rest if you don't have any. A short rest takes only an hour. You could feasibly keep all 4 of these effects up indefinitely at level 20. Now, does that break anything? Honestly, being level 20 is broken in most worlds of D&D. At level 17, you're an epic level person. There's barely anyone beyond, super duper tough creatures or other near godlike people like you that exist. So, by level 20, the fact that you can pretty well just always have these effects up, I don't think it really breaks anything, but it's a consideration. if we want to take this playtest material into consideration. For just finding little things here and there. So this is pretty solid. You get it at level 14. So a lot of campaigns, most campaigns only go to level 10, statistically. A lot of mods are only written to level 10, and at many people's tables, many games have been found to end around level 10. Not many go much beyond. And by 14th level as well, you're also like unique to the entire kingdom or realm. So I don't know if this is necessarily, if we're talking like Psychic Strike can deal a lot of extra damage, that has a more immediate impact because you are super destructive. You'll end combats earlier, etc. This has, the flying speed is pretty good. Can you compare a flying speed to, to see invisibility? Well, you might just always be flying at this point. But at 14th level, I believe that the Draconic Bloodline Sorcerer gets dragon wings. It's just in this case, you don't need to worry about your armor or clothing because you don't actually have physical wings. This is just a magical... this is a magical effect. And keep in mind, this is a psi effect, yes, though this is specifically magical, so this can be dispelled. And remember, one cast of Dispel removes all magical effects. So bear that in mind. As a DM, if you're worried, or as a player, if you're like, yes, I'm going to super break this. If you exist in a world that knows what you do and who you are, there's probably people out there who are ready for you. So we have Mind over Body, and then at 18th level, we get Psychic Aura. If your Psionic talent die is available, you can unleash your psionic power in a crackling aura of psychic energy. As a bonus action, you can magically radiate this transparent 30-foot radius aura for 1 minute or until you're incapacitated or lose the use of your psionic talent die. Whenever a creature starts its turn in the aura or moves into it for the first time on a turn, you can roll your psionic talent die and deal psychic damage to the creature, equaling the number rolled plus your charisma modifier. If the creature takes any of this damage, its speed is halved until the start of its next turn. Now, this is really powerful. It's also an 18th level ability, an epic level ability. A bonus action's not terrible to have this 30-foot radius aura, so a 60-foot diameter. So it's constant psychic damage. It's a die roll, but you can outpour it, and you can also be causing concentration check, even if it's a low level. You can straight up murder people if they're making death saving throws that are 30 feet away from you. I don't necessarily think it's overpowered. And as a bonus action, we took Quicken Spell, so there's other things that maybe we want to do. It's not bad. It's, the psychic portion of the Sorcerer does seem to have this latent destruction around you. And, I'd feel a little bad, though. She's a forester. If she turns on Psychic Aura, which has a radius of 30 feet in the woods, there's going to be like 10 birds and squirrels that are just going to fall down dead. Just in this 30 feet around her, up, down, and all around. Because it is a... it's going to be dealing this damage all around her. And it's not... It's just straight up damage. There's no mitigating it. There's no saves. So she can just walk for an entire minute and just be this entire, like, kill corridor of like small woodland creatures. And of course, I mean, I don't know if you'd count, you know, trees or mushrooms or something. Maybe, jeez, maybe this is where she gets a lot of her snacks. She just sort of kind of looks around, and she just kind of turns it on for a turn, and, you know, whatever, a little bird comes down, she kind of, there it goes on a stick, fire it up. Purple the One, my goodness, it has been a while. I hope you've been well. Yeah, long time no see. I hope you're doing well. Has your injury healed, Purple? Hopefully by now. It's been a hot minute, yeah. Sorry, I was missing what was being typed in chat. Death Angel, my buddy roommate is buying a Panda German Shepherd. He bought a grinder to make raw food for it. I'm chuckling as I want to see how long he'll keep doing it. Of course, he didn't buy the one they had in the store. He ordered the bigger one, so he had to wait 2 weeks. UMV says, in the first precinct, a tower pierces the sky. In it hides a wizard buried in lies. Gone mad, the wizard makes an orb designed to plunge the world into despair forevermore. A shattered sword holds the key to set the world forever free. Scattered across the land, buried in dangers of old, lies the pieces that will fit the mold. Assemble the sword and slash the orb in tower high. Doing so will let love fly. Is that now? That's going to be a primer you're giving to your players, Mew Mew V. What was the context to that? I know it's setting things up, but is that a note just for you, or is that going to be like the prelude to your adventure? Well, I guess we'll see if he commits to it, Death Angel. Ski reminds me of a first-time mom buying cloth diapers and requiring anyone coming near their child to be disinfected, and a second plus-time mom handing their child over to a complete stranger. Yep, Mumivy, I did go through and read it. You're fully recovered, I'm glad. Ready for another? Yeah, hopefully not. But are you back on your motorcycle then, Purple? Raytel says, I'm imagining her next to a small campfire. Then she holds up a skewer and a bird falls down perfectly onto the skewer and starts to cook. Prophecy is going to be a handout posted on the tavern. And it's your... Now, so is this a widely known prophecy then? Like, does everyone in the city know this? But they're like, whatever. It's old wives' tales or something? Yeah, if you want to get some capsules, Wolfblade, you can. We're nearing the conclusion of this character being built. Yep, it's been a while, Purple. And you're back on your bike, very good. See, look, Purple, you come back after all this time, and this is why I like developing a rapport with you all. You know, you come in, you talk, you share things about yourself, and I not in a creepy way, you know, like I'm not like I'm taking notes or anything, like I'm not. This is for labeling minis. But, you know, Purple, you come in and you're like, oh, I was in an accident. I'm like, oh, geez. You know, here we've been talking and all that. I got you, Purple. Customers passed out through precinct 6 over the years. Only the poor squalid seem to believe in it. The rest utter. Now, the thing to bring up, though, Mew Mew V, why is the wizard not doing anything about this sword that can shatter the orb? Or does the wizard not believe in this prophecy and that, you know, in that hubris is making him invincible, or her? Gotcha. All right. Then, see, that's one of the questions that might come up, if not immediately, then later on. Yep. So those are excellent notes to frame your adventure and to frame the setting that they're going to be adventuring through. All right. So we've built our character. She has these interesting abilities. Also, by the way, you know, you look at her and you're like, did you just kill a dozen birds by blinking? No. That's why we gave her deception. She's not cruel. She's actually a wonderful, innocent cinnamon bun of a tiefling girl. But she has this psychic power that has tried to make her compassionate and care about people, but it's been causing her to stress eat a lot. So now, after all this, we have a character. It is time to actually give her stats. Now, she is a sorcerer. Charisma is what you cast off of. And I think that she is a very charismatic girl. I think that she is wise and she is charismatic. Because she cares after people. She is concerned. I have no problem putting a 15 here. You might say, well, hold on, she's a sorcerer. You're supposed to put the highest. Nope, nope, nope. You do not have to, especially in 5th edition. We can make a fully functional character that has a dump stat of charisma as a sorcerer. It is doable. It is doable. And she'd still be fun to play, and she'd still have a place on the team and a place in the world. Yeah, I know. Time zones, it's probably, what, about 10 a.m. for you, Purple? But in this case, I think that she is. I think that she is very much. She is very much this adorable, caring person. Oh, you're only 5 hours ahead. Okay. Oh boy, Mew Mew, I found this a while ago. If you'd like it, if you like this, you can find it on our Discord, where we have made other characters, and you could simply download it from our repository of workshop content, and then if you want, you can blank the information that's on there and save the copy for yourself. I think she's a very healthy girl. Let's give her a 14 here, a 13 whiz. You know, I don't think strength and dexterity. Well, no, probably strength. She climbs trees. She's a country girl, right? 12, 11, or not 11, 12, 10, and 8. She's kind of young. She might not have a lot of knowledge. She's got a big heart, though. So 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. We apply the racial modifiers here. So she has an int of 9 and a charisma of 17. And we did roll that she's getting all 5 of her ASIs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, yeah, it is. It's 3:48 a.m. Purple. Though this is about normal wind-up time. Well, we can put 3 points into charisma and make her cute as a button. I think we can bring up her wisdom by 1. I want to bring up, you know, I think she's also strong. We're kind of splitting her, which is fine, because she has a lot of redeeming qualities here. Each person's responsibility to make the most happiness for the tribe. My family, clan, or tribe is the most important thing in my life. I'm too enamored of snacks to find myself absent-mindedly stress-eating. Watch over my friends as if they were a litter of newborn pups, and I'm always picking things up, absent-mindedly fiddling with them, and sometimes breaking them, probably because we're really strong. So let's put in 2 points more in Constitution. And let's put in... I think a high strength would be good for the accidentally breaking and for all the climbing and forestry she does. Although, I'm tempted to go wisdom because of animal handling and all this. Ooh, this is tough. This is tough. I think we have athletics for the climb, and that will be good. You know what? Let's give her a 16 wisdom. Let's give her an 18 wisdom. I think that would work. And if you want to rearrange it, have at it. She is our character, not my character. Oh, you did get a car. What's the car you ended? What's the vintage you ended up getting? Purple. Strength of 1, Dex of 0, Con of 3, Int is -1, Wisdom is 4, and Charisma is 5. Now you might say, well, hold on, Sorcerers need a high Dex because they use daggers and they have to, you know, have mage armor. No, look. They don't have to anything. It's okay. Remember as well, she is a forester. She's grown up in the forest. She probably uses cover. Half, 3/4, or full cover. She probably she has spells to get out of combat, or to end combat, or to make sure she never gets into combat in the first place. Having a 0 dex in this case is fine. She is survivable and she is functional. This is a completely legitimate build, a survivable build, and a build that stays true to the character. Now, if we're talking about any old character in something, generically you might say, yeah, I guess I don't know much about the character or how he or she grew up, so I guess I better get Dex to, because I know I'm going to get shot at by arrows. Okay, well, it's a default stance. Our character has lived her life. She's making these decisions, and thus as a player, because we understand the character, we can make those decisions and lean into the fact that we have a 0 dex that will ramp up our mage armor or will do these other things. Our spell selection as a sorcerer can accent that as well. We are absolutely fine with a build like this. A 924S. I'm glad it was cheap, although purple, don't you, like, to change the oil, don't you have to pull the whole engine? Although I am sure it's fun to drive. I mean, you get the responsiveness, you're shifting gears, like you're the one in power. Ooh, purple. Pulling the engine to change your oil, are you going to do that yourself, or are you paying for that? Because, my goodness, that takes like a $20 oil change to, what, like $200? Then again, I'm not you. I wouldn't have the... I could probably do it if I learned it myself, but I wouldn't have that gumption. I'm sorry. I let you down, purple. I let you down. Strength saving throw is 1, athletics is 7, dex is 0 down the board. Constitution is a 9. Int, I'm just going to copy paste the -1. We're 12. Well, I mean, we didn't really get a formal education. That's perfectly acceptable. Our wisdom, we did learn some practical lessons, though. Like, don't wipe with the 3-pointed leaf. That's a good lesson to learn. You probably have to do that once yourself, and then you learn from it. Deception and saving throws are 11, and then 5 down the line for the other skills. Yeah, Mew Mew, it's a very dynamic place. which still does have natural points and points of ruin and some other locales too. But yeah, it does. It changes up the traditional adventuring environment we often think about for D&D. Philip says pulling the engine is easy. Fitting everything back in is the problem. Oh, Purple. Hey, Purple. Big brain? Did you say big brain? Because we have that. We have a big brain. And yeah, that's true. You are a bit of a motorhead. So that is. I should have suspected that you had the gears and the tool for that. Darkwolf has sketched our beautiful little cinnamon roll, and it's in our Discord if you want to take a look at her concept of what she looks like. Our passive perception is 14, as that's 10 plus your perception modifier. That represents your natural awareness. Armor class? I don't know. We're level 20. Do we have magical armor? I can't really account for that in a character build, so question mark it is. Initiative is a dex check, and you know what? I mean, she's a plump lass. She may not be the quickest, but I'll tell you, when she gets going, she's a truck in neutral. Watch out. Now, current hit points at level 1, you get your maximum hit points equal to your hit die. So that's 6. Our other 19 of our 20 levels, we get 4, as that's half plus 1 of our hit die. Unless you and your DM work out that you roll for it or you get the maximum or whatever's going on. Now, for all of our levels, all 20 of them, we get bonus hit points equal to our Constitution modifier. And so really, if we're taking a look at this, we have 76 from our 19 levels of Sorcerer, and we're getting 60 just from our Constitution. So this is going to be 82. This is going to be 142 hit points at level 20. If we're attacking with a strength weapon, we have a plus 7 to hit. If we're attacking with a dex weapon, we have a plus 6 to hit. If we're attacking with our spells, however, we have a plus 11 to hit, and to resist our spells is a 19. Ooh! Ooh, spicy. She is no longer a set of numbers, by the way. There we go. So if any names are popping out to you, then you're welcome to suggest them. Now we come down here. She prepares spells as a sorcerer. She casts off of Charisma, a 19 to save, a plus 11 to hit. She has sorcery points of 20. And we have our spells here. Now, as a sorcerer, we come back up here. We have a number of spells that we know. And I'll be showing you if we only took our spells as we got them, how it would lay out. Remember, though, as a sorcerer, you can replace one spell per level. And you can replace a lower level with a higher level, a higher with a lower. A same, if you have a level 2 spell that you're not using, replace it with another level 2 that you are. So you do have a semi-flexible set of spells you can cast. And when you learn a new spell, don't forget also that just because you know 2 spells at first level, that you can't load up and know by level 20, maybe these last spells here, you've taken all first level spells. Maybe because you love scaling them up. I don't know. You don't have to just sit in the level that you know. You can go back and load up and know 20 level 1 spells if you want to. Okay? I guess not 20, because we only know 15 spells by the end, but you'll see. Anyway, so at level 1 here, at level 1, we know 2 spells. Yay. At level 2, we know 3 spells. See right here? But it can't be of a spell that's second level because we can't cast it yet. Now, at level 3, we know 4 spells, and it can be a second level spell. So we come down here, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then you'll notice here, I'm going to fill this in just so I'm not losing myself and I'm not getting ahead of myself in my descriptor. Alright, everything's fine. Hey, we have level 5 spells. Those are pretty good. So we hit level 10. Oop-a-doo. There's our 11th spell. Now we get a 12th spell at level 11. And at level 12, oh, we still only know 12 spells. Now you can replace a spell when you level up, but you won't get a new one. And here's the reason. This is a level 11, level 13, level 15, and level 17 is when we get our last spell here. Right? We get a new spell level on the odd levels. And we don't learn any more new spells after we hit 17 epic level. You got a GTA server to get into? All right, yeah, Purple, thanks for stopping in. Hopefully we'll see you again. Purple, also, if you aren't on our Discord, or for anyone else out there that's watching, you are welcome to join our Discord as well. It's tempting to call her Cinnamon. You know, Jay, in my homebrew world, cinnamon is sort of a reduction of the spice that was called Sins of Man, because the folktale goes that for anyone who eats that bark, if you've been sinful in your life, it will burn. And so, because everyone eats it and it burns for everyone, Sins of Man got reduced down just over time, where it's just called cinnamon. And because it was just it was sort of like a cultural inside joke, right? People would try it, like, oh, if you're pure, you'll eat the bark and it won't burn your mouth. And meanwhile, people are just like sucking on cinnamon bark. So you too have fallen to the Sins of Man. And so yes, Sins of Man to cinnamon. So anyway, there's our spells, and ta-da! We don't have a companion, but I don't know. What if she has a pet mouse? I'm gonna put mouse statistics over here. And for whatever spells that you would want to give her those spells. She's your character. Lean into her meta magic. Lean into her personality. Remember, you know, she might take defensive spells, or honestly, she probably has spells that'll get around the forest. She'll probably be using a lot of this. The swimming speed to hide in the water. The flying speed to float around so she doesn't step on sticks. It's okay that she has this as a weakness, because you're aware of it. It's a part of her character and you're going to love her for it because you can account for it. She's a product of her environment. So, ta-da! All right, let's take a look. Oh my goodness! Dark Wolf. Dark Wolf. You creative little awoo. By the way, this is why she's 5'4". She's really like 4'11". Miss Awoo, you did a fantastic job. She is adorable. I love her. And she needs to go on an adventure. I love the hooves. I love the fact you gave her... Although I don't know. Didn't she have a little plumper tail? Or does she just say that all the weight's in her tail, and that's kind of the irony of it? Dark Wolf, what a beautiful sketch. Thank you so much for going out of your way to do that. But, yeah. So, I mean, besides giving her a name, there we go. She's ready to give spells to. She's ready for adventure. And to have a ton of fun. And so, with that, our beautiful little cinnamon roll of a tiefling girl. This girl who has powers that have awakened inside of her. And it's causing her to stressy. But, you know, she's still strong. She's lovely. She's personable. And she wants to be your friend, even if she does creepy stuff like take her tail and pluck a beetle off a tree and eat it in front of you while telling you straight to your face that she's not eating a beetle.